ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम सद्गुरु श्री रामानंद परब्रह्मणे नमः। ओम सद्गुरु श्री शिवानंद परब्रह्मणे नमः। ओम सद्गुरु श्री कृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। ओम सद्गुरु श्री शंकर भगवत्पादाचार्य नमः। ओम सद्गुरु श्री नित्यानंद परब्रह्मणे नमः। ओम सद्गुरु श्री वेदव्यास भट्टारकाय नमः। Atma Namaskars to one and all who have attended the conference. You are all my Guru Swarupa. Today's topic is the second part of the 18th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That is Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Last week we have completed the first part of this chapter, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. In that chapter we have covered so many points, that is three varieties of Tyagam, that is pertaining to Sattvam, Rajas and Tamogunam. Regarding Tyagam, Jnanam, Karta, Karma, Buddhi, Dhruti, Sukham, like that we have covered 21 varieties of qualities for each and every person. That means the Sattva-guna people will be having 7 varieties of qualities, the Rajoguna and Tamoguna, 7 qualities each. So like that we have covered. Now this part is totally is a compilation and the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita, this remaining part. This is, if you understand this this part, you can have a clear-cut picture about Srimad Bhagavad Gita, what Lord Sri Krishna Paramatma told to Arjuna. In the second part, in the beginning, we can it will start with Brahmana Kshatri Visham Sudranancha Parantapa Karmani Pravibhaktani Swabhava Prabhaved Gunaihi. Now Paramatma started with this casteism. Casteism here, what world is thinking about the casteism, what Paramatma told about casteism, I want to clarify. There are 4 castes, that is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudras. These castes are determined by their inborn qualities of nature, came out of the Prakriti. All these castes came from Prakriti only, but depending upon their nature in the previous births, their caste is decided, not simply being born in a particular family. So in the fourth chapter, Paramatma already told Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagasaha Tasya Kartarapimam Vidya Kartaram Avyayam. Division of these 4 castes, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudras, are done by me only, but I am not at all responsible. I am the source of this energy. Because I am the source of the Prakriti. So the entire Prakriti is coming from me only. So the Prakriti is responsible for division of these castes. Tasya Kartarapi, even though I am source of this Vidhi Akartaram Avyam, I am not at all responsible for those divisions. So who is responsible? The Prakriti. According to the Prakriti, the 4 castes are divided, and these castes are depending upon their quality. Their qualities only the caste is decided, not just being born in a particular family. For example, if a person is born with divine qualities in a Sudra family, he can be called as Brahmin. Like that, if any person born with other communities of qualities, he will be called as that particular caste only, not in the shell of that family. Now, Paramatma started telling about this Shamo Damas Tapassaucham Chantri Arjavamevacha Jnanam Vijnanam Astikyam Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. Here you have to please clearly understand this point. Swabhavajam, by means of their nature derived from that Prakruti, their caste is decided like this. Shamo Damas Tapas Saucham. Samam means that is the control of the internal senses, that is Manobuddhi Chittahankaras, and Damam means control of the external senses, that is Damam, external senses. Shamo Tapas, again coming to the Tapaha means austerity, Saucha means purity, Suchi. Like that, Shamo Tapas Saucham Shantiri. Shanti means forgiveness, patience. Arjav means Mevacha. Arjav means the righteousness, or we can say straightforwardness, Rujutvam. So many times Paramatma has uttered these words, Tapa and Arjavam. So, Shamo Damas Tapas Saucham Shantiri Arjavamevacha Jnanam Vijnanam Astikyam. Jnanam means the theoretical knowledge about God. Vijnanam means the practical experience of God. The practical experience, when he has already got practical experience, there is no question of being born as Brahmin. So he must have some remaining of ignorance, then only he is being born. But why this slokam is told Jnanam Vijnanam Astikyam, both theory and practical. So here it indicates that he must be having some potential to know the theory of the God and practical knowledge also. He must have had some practical knowledge in the previous birth. Something was remaining in him. That's why he is born. But rest of the qualities, all these will come under this Brahmin quality. Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. According to their nature, he is called as a Brahmin. So, Shamo Damas Tapas Saucham Shanti Rajyavamevacha Jnanam Vijnanamastikyam Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. Now coming to the Kshatriya, Sauryam, Tejo, Ruti, Daksham, Yuddhe Chapyapalayanam, Danam Isra Bhavascha, Kshatram Karma Swabhavajam. Sauryam means the prowess, that means the strength. Sauryam Tejam, that means that is the splendor. Sauryam Tejam Dhruti. Dhruti means firmness. And Daksham means there is a special word, dexterity. Dexterity means he will be having this managerial capacity. Managing capacity is called Dakshata. So Sauryam Tejam Dhruti Daksham Yuddhe Chapyapalayanam. Here in the battle he won't turn back again, he won't come back again. That is what now our great dedicated soldiers are doing now. So all those soldiers who are fighting against the enemies without turning back, they will come under Kshatriyas, not at the just being born in that Kshatriya family. All these qualities who are having, they will come under this Kshatriya. Sauryam Tejo Dhuti Daksham Yuddhe Chapyapalayam Danam. That means generosity, magnanimity. Danam Iswara Bhavascha. Iswara Bhavascha means lordship. He will control, he will be the ruler of the country. So ruling capacity and the generosity, magnanimity, and not returning back from the battle, and rest of the call is Sauryam Tejam. Sauryam means prowess, and Tejam means splendor, Dhruti means firmness, and Daksham means the dexterity. All these qualities, if anybody is having, whether he may be born in any of the family, he will be called as Brahma kshatram karma swabhavajam. Now coming to the Vaishya, Krushi go raksha vanijyam, Vaishya karma swabhavajam. Krushi means agriculture, go raksha means cattle rearing, and vanijya means a trade. So these qualities, three qualities, this will come under this Vaishya. When he has got these three qualities, he will be called as Vaishya. But nowadays, most of the people, villagers are doing agriculture and they are called as Sudras. Not at all. According to Paramatma, all those people who are doing this agriculture and this cattle rearing, they should be called as Vaishyas. So according to Paramatma, and trade, anybody who does trade or business, he will be called as Vaishya. Now coming to the Paricharyatmakam karma Sudrasyapi Swabhavajam, one who does service only, he will be called as Sudra. So according to the definition of Paramatma, these are the qualities. But in a single family, suppose 4 persons are born with different qualities, the person who is having the qualities of Brahmin, he will be called as Brahmin. But in the same family, if he is having the qualities of Kshatriya, he will be called as Kshatriya only. Like that, the third person who does this trade and agriculture and cattle rearing, he can be called as, he will be called and he shall be called as this Vaishya. Now, rest of the people who are doing service, they will be called as Sudra. So calling casteism is only by the qualities, not at the just being born in that particular family. A family may be having different qualities of people, so they can be called with different casteism. Here, if you go to the true sense of it, Ajnaname Sudratvam, Sujnaname Brahmamauta, Srutulanu Vinara, Ajnanamudigi Valmiki, Sujnanapa Brahmadaya Gadara Vema. Because Yogi Vemana is a yogi, he is a great jnani, he alone could discriminate the what is fact told by Lord Sri Krishna. That is Ajnaname Sudratvam. The ignorance itself is Sudratvam. Sujnaname Brahmamauta Srutulana Vinara. You please hear from all these scriptures, only who has got this practical knowledge about the God, he will be called, that is called Brahmajnani, Brahmana. And Ajnanamudigi Valmiki Sujnanapa Brahmadaya Gadara Vema. The Valmiki Maharshi in Ramayana, you know, he was born as Sudra. But after getting initiated from Narada, he started doing this Japam, and that is Mara, not Mara, but he did pranayam only. He has taken his life force upwards and put it at the head. So with that tapas only, he got this Brahmajnanam. So Ajnanamudiki Sujnanapa Brahmadaya Gadara Vema. Like that, in Mahabharatam it says, Janmana Jayate Sudraha, Veda Parayanu Vipraha, Karmana Jayate Dvijaha, Veda Parayanu Vipraha, Brahmajnaneta Brahmana. This is the correct definition told in Mahabharatam. That is Janmana Jayate Sudra. Everybody is born like Sudra because of ignorance only. To start with, in the early childhood, everybody is Sudra only. Janmana Jayate Sudraha, Karmana Jayate Dvijaha. Dvija means being born again. Twice born one. Why? When he is initiated in this yogam, pranayama, internal pranayama, he will start taking his life force upwards. When he has taken upward, naturally his jnanam, this profound knowledge will be increased. After all, when we are losing this life force through expiration mode, we are losing this energy, knowledge, power and divine light. So divine energy, divine light, divine knowledge also we are losing. So when you are taking upwards, a person who is doing pranayama, real pranayama, his knowledge, spiritual knowledge will be increased. then only he will be called as Dvija. No sooner that person got initiated into this pranayama, he will be called as Dvija. Rest of the people who didn't yet get this pranayama, all these people will become told as Sudras only. And Veda Parayano Vipraha. Veda Parayana. Vedam means here Swaram. Swaram means Pranavam, Omkaram. When he is doing up and down, he will be called as Vipraha. When he is doing Parayanam, Parayanam means just churning. Veda Parayanam, Pasupa Parani. Like that, Parayanam means just rubbing with each other. Veda Parayanam. Here we are churning the life force by doing up and downs. That is called, then will be called as Veda Parayano Vipraha. He will be called as Vipraha. If he continues further and gets a profound practical knowledge, Brahmajnanetu Brahmanaha. Brahmajnanetu Brahmanaha. Ultimately, he will be called as Brahmana. The same person will be called as Sudra in the beginning, and he will be turned into Dvija. And when he gets initiated in this pranayama, and if he goes on practicing, he will be called as a Vipra, and ultimately he gets this spiritual knowledge, practical knowledge, then he will be called as Brahmajnanetu Brahmanaha. So this is the clear-cut definition. Even in Siddhavedama or Paramgurudev told that all these castes are nothing but the Manobuddhi Chittahankaras. Manobuddhi Chitta Ahankaras. Manaha, Chitta and Buddhi Ahankaras. So here also, according to the definition, Jnanam Vijnanam Astrikyam. When we start from downwards to upwards by doing pranayama, initially he will have to struggle a lot because he is far away from the upward point. Then he will be called as Sudra. Sudra, that is Ahankar. Then when he goes upwards, that Sudra will be turned into Vaishya by turning into this Chittam. Now when he further goes upward, he will be called as Vaishya means Krushi, Goraksha Vanijyam. Krushi means agriculture. The outward meaning is agricultural farming. The inner meaning is doing up and down only. Vyavasayatmika buddhirekehe kurunandana bhosaka hyanantascha buddhayo avyavasayanam. In the second chapter, Paramatma already told this one who practices this pranayama only, this buddhi yogam only, he will be called as with vyavasayatmika buddhi. Goraksham means not simply rearing the cattle, but go means sound, swaram. Swaram means the pranavam, omkaram. So one who protects this go, that is going out, when the life force is going outwards and when he takes upwards, he will protect it, and then he will be called as Goraksham. That's why Lord Vishnu is called as Govinda. Govinda means he will be very much pleased when any person takes his life force upward. He will be very much pleased. That's why the very favorable name of Lord Venkateswara is Govinda. So a yogi will be called as Govinda. Goraksha Vanijyam. Vanijyam also business. This is also this Vaishya community. All these qualities are nothing but a yogi who is doing pranayama upward. Now coming to the Kshatriya qualities, Yuddhe cha Pyapalayanam. That means he don't allow it to come down. Uddhared Atmana Atmanam, Natmanam Avsadet, Atmaive Hyatno Bandhra, Atmaive Ripanatmanaha. A yogi, when he takes upwards, he won't allow it to come down. That is called Yuddhe cha Pyapalayanam. And he will be having Shravanam, Tedim, Ruti, Daksha, and he will be conquering enemies. What are those enemies? Who are the enemies? Nothing but the Arishad Vargas. That is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madhvasayas. All these 6 qualities he will be fighting. Then only he will be called as Kshatriya. Now coming to the head point, when he totally takes his life force upwards and put it in the head, in the Brahmajam, then he will be called a Brahmajnanetu Brahmanaha. Like that, the specific meaning is there inside, but unfortunately, most of the people, they are even now also without following the qualities of the caste, they are still called as that particular caste, but according to Paramatma, only decided by the nature, according to his nature and qualifications. That's why in Mahabharata or somewhere it is told like this: Nasudra Bhagavad Bhakta Vipra Bhagavata Smataha Sarve Varne Sarva Varnesha Te Shudra Ye Hyabhakta Janardhane. Nasudra Bhagavad Bhakta. A Bhagavad Bhakta, a devotee of God, can never be called as Sudra. Vipra Bhagavata Smritaha. One who devoted to God, he will be called as Vipra. Sarva Varnesha Te Shudra. You clearly understand that most the Sudras are there in every caste. The Sudras who are not having spiritual practical knowledge without doing any sadhana, all these people, whether he may be born in any caste, they will be called as Sudra. So all the Sudras are there in all castes. Sarva Varnesha Te Shudra Ye Hyabhakta Janardhane. Who doesn't have devotion towards Janardhana, all these people will be called as these Sudras only. So the definition of casteism is only by Jnanam, by sadhana only, by qualities only, not by just being born in a particular shell of that family. This is about the casteism that is told by Lord Sri Krishna. Now Paramatma, again he is continuing the say, the sadhana inside. When he does this sadhana inside, he can get salvation whatever the karma he does do outside. Sve sve karmanya bhiritas samsiddhim labhate naraha sakarmana Nirata siddhim yadha vindati tasruno. A person, whether he may be born in any caste or any ashram, that is brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasram, or brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, sudra, varnashram, any varnam, whether he may belong to any of these sects, sve sve karmanya abhiritas samsiddhim labhate naraha. He can get salvation by doing his own duties of that particular varnam or ashram, and sakarmana nirata siddhim yada vindati tasruno. How he will get salvation, I will tell you. This is the most specific point told by Lord Sri Krishna. Till now, most of the people, they think that if you want to get salvation, you can discard, you can renunciate everything and go to forests and mountain caves. Not that. Sve sve karmanya bhiritas samsiddhin labhate naraha. While you are in the particular caste or any varnam or anything, you can get salvation by doing internal sadhana. Do internal sadhana and do external action according to your nature. Yatah pravrittir bhutana yena sarva midam tatam swakarmana samarbhyascha siddhim vindati manava. This is the final conclusion by Lord Sri Krishna. Yatah pravrittir bhutanam, from whom the entire creation has come out. Entire creation has come out. Yatah pravrittir bhutanam, all these living beings have come out, from whom, and yena sarva medam tatam, by means of whom entire this creation is pervaded, that is all pervasive. So if one knows about the all pervasive nature of Paramatma and the creative nature of Paramatma, while he was in the same caste or varnam or ashram, he can get swakarmana tamarbhyascha. That means swakarma here also, the internal karma. Now next slokam I will give in detail. Swakarmana tamarbhyascha siddhim vindate manava. He will get siddhi, the final, he will get the final seat of salvation while he was doing in the karma in this as a householder or brahmacharya, vanaprastha, sannyasa, like that. Now, regarding Paramatma is stressing only the internal sadhana, not the external karma. Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat vanishchitat swabhava niyatam karma kurvanna apnoti kilbisham. This is also very important. Shreyan swadharmo, Sri say Paramatma, wherever he says swadharma means that is doing inside sadhana only. Inside sadhana only. In the third chapter also, Paramatma already told Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat vanishchitat swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayapaha. In this third chapter, it already told whatever the sadhana may be, it may not be fulfilled. He may be a yoga brashta, he may discard, he may disconnect his sadhana, but that is much more better than doing the other sadhanas outside, doing outside and worshipping the devatas. Outside devatas. Shreyan swadharma vigunaha. Whether it gives any, doesn't give much benefit or fruits of it, but that is much better than doing thoroughly about the external karmas outside. Shreyan swadharma viguna paradharmat vanishta swabhava niyatam karma kurvanna apnoti kilbisham. This is very important. Swabhava niyatam karma. Swa means inside, I told you, swa means pertaining to himself only. Swabhava niyatam karma. That karma is destined to do inside is called swabhava niyatam karma. Kurvanna apnoti kilbisham. That means while doing that sadhana, if he does any action outside, he won't get bounded with that external karma. Kurvanna apnoti kilbisham. He will never get sin by doing external sadhana. Only thing is, the getting away from this bondage will be decided by doing sadhana inside only. In Mahabharata, it is already told, Yoga abhyasa rato nischam swadharma parasvashchayaha. Swadharmam paradharma. In Yoga Vastam also there are two words, swadharmam and paradharmam. Yoga abhyasa rato nischam swadharma parataschayaha. One who does this pranayama regularly, he will be called as swadharma praha. And ayantu paramo dharmo yadyogena atmadarsanam. In the same Mahabharatam, or in Shantiparam it is told, ayantu paramo dharmo yattu yogena atmadarsanam. One who sees this Atman by means of yoga only, that is the Paramadharmam, that is the supreme of all the dharmas. Everybody says dharmas, you should observe dharma, the kama mokshas, like that. What is this dharma? Nobody knows. Simply sticking to particular quality of that caste, it is called caste dharma. Sticking to the qualities of that varnam, ashram, that is ashrama dharma. So many dharmas are there, but the final dharma is ayanto paramo dharmo yattu yogena atmadarshanam. By means of yoga only, seeing the Atman is the paramadharma. So here also Paramatma swadharme nidhanam, swadharme swabhava nihitam karma kurvanna apnoti kilmisham. That's why now Paramatma is now continuing. So here what Paramatma means is, you may be there at whatever ashram or varnam may be, but you should do this sadhana. When you are sticking to this sadhana and doing vigorously, thoroughly, you need not renunciate your caste or ashram. So you can get realization where you are, from where you are. That is the meaning of Paramatma. Now, Paramatma says, Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosha vipinachajet sarvaramba hi doshena dhumena agni rivavrutaha. This is also, most of the people have misunderstood. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosha vipinachajet. Whatever the action you do, whatever karma you do, that will be with starting with evil effect only. That will be the evil only, dosham only. Why? Because even if a yogi starts, before starting yogam, he is ignorant man only. He is Sudra only. He is with the dosham only. So even yogam or other karmas, rest of the karmas are yogam, all these karmas are with starting with dosham only. Sahajam karma kaunte swadosham nachajed. Because they are with this dosham, you need not stop it. You have to start it. But the main difference is, if you go on doing this yogam, you will go inside. You will go inside. Then the dosham, the ill effect of this karma will be nullified. How? Yogena gatakamanam bhavana brahmachakshase. In Uttar Gita, Atma mantrasya hansasya paraspara samanvayat yogena gatakamanam bhavana brahmachakshase. By doing yogam only, he will be, initially any yogi will be doing this sadhana not to get salvation. Though he utters that I should get salvation, we don't know what is meant by salvation. Unless you have some practice, you have to some practical knowledge, you cannot understand what is meant by salvation. Some people ask, 2 days back one person asked me, with this sadhana, do you go to Turiyam, sir? To go to Turiyam, how much time it will take? Like that, the people, he doesn't know what is meant by Turiyam. He doesn't know what is meant by salvation. But he is simply asking how much time it will take. So it is not like that. You go on doing sadhana, then get profound knowledge, then only you can decide. Like that, yogena katakamanam. By doing yoga sadhana, initially his desires, these material desires will be fulfilled. Afterwards, his mind will be turned into Brahman, that is told in 2nd chapter. That is, nasti buddhir ektasya nacha yuktasya bhavana, nacha bhavayatasyanti, nacha asantasya kutassukham. So without yogam, nobody will have this Brahma bhavana. So like that, a yogi, initially he will be having common desires of this world, samsara. He will be, because he is already swimming in this samsaram, he will be having the same mind to fulfill his own material desires. But afterwards, when he gets this knowledge, this desire of this external samsaram, that will be vanished. So his mind will be turned into Brahmajnanam. That's why the dosha will be nullified by a yogi. But rest of the people who doesn't do